Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 21st Feb. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 12. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, commercial coal mining opened for private sector. So the cabinet has now decided, the central government has decided that commercial coal mining would be opened up for Indian and foreign companies in the private sector. So this is the decision which has been taken. Till now it was the monopoly of the PSU, Coal India. The public sector undertaking Coal India was the only commercial miner in the country for over 4 decades now. So it accounted for 84% of the coal output in the country. And now it has been opened up for Indian and foreign companies in the private sector. So since the nationalization in 1973, this is a major reform which has taken place. So coal mines will be up for sale. Coal is important for the country because 70% of power generation is through coal, thermal power. So this is there. Also, this opening up means there will be auction done. An online transparent platform would be there on which auctioning would be done, and the parameter would be the price offer. The price offer in rupees per ton will decide which private sector company would be allotted a coal mine. And also they have to pay to the state government. The payment would go to the state government on the actual production of coal. So this will provide money in the hands of the state governments. There is also no restriction on the sale and or utilization of coal from the mine. The private sector will decide. So this is how it is. The government is trying to bring in competitiveness and also best technology in the coal mining sector. So transparency, ease of doing business, best in class technology, safe and efficient mining, and also employment generation is what the government is targeting through this policy. So here you can see also, since the state governments are being given the revenue from this coal mining, so it would result in their revenues increasing and also growth and development in the backward regions, especially in the eastern part of the country where coal mines are located. And here it would benefit the tribes. So this is the benefit. Also the background, you should know that coal block allocation was cancelled by the Supreme Court in 2014 for 204 coal mines after the coal mine scam came to the fore. So these coal mines which were allotted to various government and private companies since 1993, there were some unutilization which was seen, and the coal mines as such, the allocation was cancelled. And now auctioning is being used. The government has made auctioning the way of allocating coal mines through this Coal Mines Special Provisions Act of 2015. And now this policy has been announced. So here the details are also provided regarding what we just discussed. Then next is, this is regarding the coal block allocation cancelled. Then next is AAP MLAs assaulted Delhi Chief Secretary. So Delhi Chief Secretary has charged AAP MLAs with having attacked him during a late night meeting with the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal at his residence. An FIR has been registered against the AAP MLA. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh has also sought a report on the incident from the Lieutenant Governor. So we know in Delhi there are differences between the central government and the state union territory, national capital territory, the government of Arvind Kejriwal. So this again is saying that the Home Minister has delivered its verdict without hearing the other side. So these are the allegations and counter allegations coming forth. Then next is humanoid Sofia steals the show at World IT Congress. So this is Sofia, which is a humanoid robot created by David Hansen. So here this was on display at World IT Congress in Hyderabad, which took place presently, and when questions were asked to her, she could answer. She was asked whether artificial intelligence, robots and machines will take over the human race. She said no, it is for a symbiotic relationship that the coexistence of humans and robots would take place. When asked who was her favorite Bollywood star, she said it was Shah Rukh Khan. But also when she was asked about coping with air pollution, She did not have a clear answer. She said, one day when I can understand different emotions and feelings behind them, I can respond to that. So that shows she's 2-year-old now, but she's becoming adaptive to general intelligence. So this is about Sofia, the humanoid, with a perfect skin, soft facial muscles that can motorize as many as 66 facial expressions. So she can learn human expressions by observing them. And she can pull off her own self-taught expressions as such, so she can mimic. So that is how intelligence has been acquired by her. So this Sofia has also been granted robo citizenship by Saudi Arabia government. So this is there. Here you can see it was activated in 2015, and the manufacturer is David Hansen. Then next is Mahanadi Tribunal gets central nod. So the Union Cabinet has now approved setting up of a tribunal for Mahanadi River. So this is a river majorly disputed between Odisha and Chhattisgarh, and Odisha government had time and again asked the central government to set up a tribunal for the river, but the central government wanted the two states to resolve the differences among themselves. But since that did not take place, Odisha approached the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court last month in January 2018 directed the central government to set up a tribunal, because Odisha government actually wants Chhattisgarh government to stop constructing weirs on the river. So now the weirs are also like barriers on the river which alter the flow of the river. So this is the issue. So now this tribunal is expected to determine water sharing among the basin states on the basis of overall availability of water in the complete Mahanadi basin, then the contribution of each state to it, the present utilization of water resource by each state, and also the potential for future development. So this is there. Also, government, you should know, is already planning to introduce a new bill which will have set up a single tribunal to replace all existing water tribunals. So presently we see for each river there is a different water tribunal established, but now the central government is introducing this bill. It has already been introduced in Lok Sabha last year but has not yet been debated. This is Interstate River Water Disputes Amendment Bill. So this Act of 1956 will be amended. So all tribunals presently are staffed by members of the judiciary nominated by the Chief Justice of India. But this bill which has been proposed has provision for members and even a chairperson outside the judiciary. So this is there. So here presently the tribunal under this Act of 1956 also is required to submit its report and decision within a period of 3 years with a maximum extension of 2 years. But we are seeing tribunals take a lot of time to give their verdict to, and so far 8 tribunals have been established. Awards have been given only for, final verdict has been given for only 3. So this is there. So they have been in existence, like tribunals of Kaveri and Ravi Bias have been in existence for several decades. So that's why a single tribunal is being proposed. So once that comes into effect, then maybe the Mahanadi tribunal would also be merged into it. But presently the government has adhered to the Supreme Court order and has established Mahanadi River Water Dispute Tribunal. Also you should know that in the basin there are 4 states. Apart from Chhattisgarh and Odisha, Maharashtra and Jharkhand also have a small part of this drainage area, the basin. So the Mahanadi River, it originates in Chhattisgarh and terminates in Bay of Bengal. So from Chhattisgarh it flows into Odisha. So also it is the second largest river in terms of water potential in peninsular India after Godavari River. 851 kilometers the total length of this river, out of which 357 kilometers is in Chhattisgarh and 494 kilometers in Odisha. And this is regarding the various tribunals which have been established, the 8 interstate water dispute tribunals established and the states involved in them listed out here. Then next is Supreme Court spells out stand on MP's salary revision. So the Supreme Court has now asked the central government to take a stand clearly on establishment of an independent body to review the salary and allowances of MPs, and also whether it is possible to scrap the post-retirement benefits and perks provided to them. So this is actually a petition filed by an NGO in the Supreme Court, which is saying that pension and perks given to MPs after they demit office is contrary to Article 14 of the Constitution. So the parliament has no power to provide such benefits to the lawmakers without making any law. So this is there also. It has been argued that, like for example, if a person is in mid-20s and he has become an MP one time, so he's eligible for pension for the rest of his life. So this is a huge expenditure and drain on the government's exchequer. So now the Supreme Court has asked that central government gives its views on this issue. Then next is a Canadian project inspired by India. So we are seeing India-Canada relations being discussed. Amarjit Sohi, Canada's Minister for Infrastructure and Communities, is also in the country. He's in India and he's spoken about Smart City Challenge. So this Smart City Challenge which India introduced as such has also inspired Canada, and Canada's Smart City Challenge has also been put forth. So he says that we have been inspired by India. He is a Canadian minister, person of Indian origin. So here you see, so here in the Canadian Smart City Challenge, municipalities are called to identify problems and then technology is used to solve these problems. And funding is provided to make such projects viable. So you should know about the Smart City Challenge of India too. Here the details are provided. What are smart cities in Indian context is explained. So core infrastructural elements are provided to improve the quality of life of citizens. Emphasis is of course on the use of information and communication technology to enhance quality of urban life. So even dependence on resources like water and electricity, the cost of consumption should come down. So initially 20 cities were chosen. So it's a challenge, means each city submits a proposal that what are the smart solutions which it proposes, and then the shortlisted cities are put forth. So in the first stage 20 smart cities were selected, and later you are seeing it started in 2015. 2016 we saw 40 smart cities added up, 2017 40 more. So presently there are 100 smart cities which have been put forth, and the selection criteria is listed out here. You can see there should be at least 2 smart cities in majority of 29 states, or cities should have a population, and also cities should have a population of more than 1 million. State capitals, heritage cities and cities near metros are preferred for selection as smart cities, and other parameters used are like urban reforms, revenue collection, sanitation levels, capacity of municipal bodies, etc. And states with bigger urban population can have more smart cities. Then next is ED grapples with severe manpower crunch. So the Enforcement Directorate is presently working on this 11,500 crore scam which has come forth in Punjab National Bank, the fraud, and presently are seeing that Enforcement Directorate is facing a manpower crunch. So currently it's functioning, it is said, at less than 50% of the approved strength as such. So there are a number of vacancies in the middle level which needs to be filled up. So that has been highlighted here in this news. Enforcement Directorate we have already discussed when PNB news came forth. It is empowered to conduct investigations under 2 acts: Prevention of Money Laundering Act and Foreign Exchange Management Act. So Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002, it is a legal framework to combat money laundering in the country. It came into effect in 2005. So there are obligations on banking companies, financial institutions and other intermediaries to verify identity of clients, maintain records and give information to the authorities in India. This is there. So what is money laundering is also defined under this act. So it provides for freezing, seizure and confiscation of the proceeds of crime through this money laundering activities as such. So attachment of properties is what we have been seeing done by ED under this act. Another act under which it is empowered is FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, which was passed in 1999, replacing FERA. So under FERA, such frauds, foreign exchange cases were considered as criminal offences, but now FEMA is more relaxed. It has such offences called as civil offences. There is no criminal aspect to it. So there will be monetary penalty as such imposed, but no imprisonment as such. And this act is also the one which empowers Enforcement Directorate to take action. Then next is China deploys warships in Indian Ocean. So a Chinese naval contingent has been deployed in the East Indian Ocean for more than a week now, according to the claims made by China. And this is in the context of the present ongoing political crisis in Maldives. So you should know Maldives' former president, Mohammad Nasheed, he had called India to intervene in Maldives' internal affairs, and China as such is now, has warned that there should not be any external intervention in Maldives. And here presently it is showing its naval strength. An amphibious vessel is also part of the contingent which can transfer troops from sea to land. So they have placed themselves in East Indian Ocean. This is Maldives, located just below the Lakshadweep Islands and has close relations with India. So here we are seeing that China is threatening that no external intervention would take place. However, Indian Defence Forces say that there is no Chinese ship movement near the Indian Ocean island. They are far off. So this is the development here. Then next is China quietly holding talks with Baloch militants of CPEC. So we know China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. We have discussed it quite often. It is a $90 billion project which in China is developing, which passes through Pakistan and also the POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir region, because of which India is protesting against this project. It is part of China's Belt and Road Initiative too. So it's been over 5 years and China wants to protect its investment here. So that is why the concern with respect to CPEC is also that it passes through this militant region in Pakistan, Balochistan region. So now it has been come to the fore that China is also having talks with the Baloch militants. So if peace can come forth, it would result in Pakistan is also welcoming these talks because peace and development would be good for them too. So this is the news. It's a 3,000 kilometer long CPEC connecting China and India through rail, road, pipelines and optical cable network. So this is the project. It will connect China's Xinjiang province with Pakistan's Gwadar port. And China will get an access to Arabian Sea. So it can also pump its oil supplies from the Middle East through these pipelines. So it will drastically reduce the distance the Chinese ships have to travel as such too. So this is the ambitious project of China. And now China is intervening in the internal politics of Pakistan too. So New Delhi is also worried regarding China's growing political influence in neighboring countries in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Myanmar as such too. So this is the news. So this is in Xinjiang province, Kashgar to Gwadar port in Pakistan. CPEC. Then next is China outbids India for stake in DSE. So this is regarding Dhaka Stock Exchange. So Dhaka Stock Exchange has sold off 25% stake to Chinese consortium. So it was done through a bidding process and India also had bidded for it. But then Chinese bid was better and it got hold of it. So actually Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission, the regulatory body, had actually intervened in this matter because of his local media said that the commission is trying to favor India. So India-Bangladesh relations are also good, but then we are presently seeing that China is also making inroads in Bangladesh. So this is there. We also have investments in Bangladesh. Indian companies have won various contracts in various sectors in Bangladesh, but China is also increasing its presence here. Then next is Indian H4 entrepreneurs in limbo as US rethinks visa rules. So US President Donald Trump administration is considering ending the work authorization for spouses of H1B visa holders. So H1B visa holders spouses have H4 visa, a dependent of H1B visa holder. So this H4 visa holders also are allowed to work. So this work authorization will be ended. This is what the Trump administration is considering, and this has resulted in many entrepreneurs who have taken up H4 visas and are setting up businesses because H1B visa holders require holders to earn a salary. So H4 visa holders as such, they are allowed to work, and many entrepreneurs have taken up these visas and they are creating jobs in the country, in America. But Trump administration has said that it will discontinue this work authorization. So this And the reason for this given is the same, that it will open up more jobs for Americans. But it's running contrary to the entrepreneurs' work in USA. So this is in news. And the last news item is millennials pushing online retail growth. So this is a study which has been done in which it shows that millennials. So millennials is a term which is used for a particular generation. So you should know these terms. So though there is no clear definition of them too. So people in the age bracket 18 to 35 years. So these are the people who are presently, fueling the online retail growth in the country. So online retail growth has actually increased drastically. So India is also one of the youngest major economies in the globe. So we are seeing a huge young population in the country, and they are also the chief wage earners. So this is the news. The term millennials and other terms used are discussed here. So these are older terms which you may just ignore, lost generation, etc. Generation X is from where we are interested. So from 1961 to 79 are called Gen X. 1980 to actually 1999 is generally the millennial generation. So this millennial generation is also known as Gen Y. So Gen X, Gen Y, and then came Gen Z from 1999 basically to 2010. So 2000 to 2010, that age group is called Gen Z, and the current generation is also called Generation Alpha. So the millennials are these, 1980 to 1999. So these are the news items. Thank you.